Hi everyone! So it's time to find out what's going to be happening in 2019 for my reading. I've decided to have a bit of a switch up, but first, before I get on to that, I just want to show you some books that I have bought over the past couple of months, because I didn't buy any books this year for Christmas. I didn't get any books for Christmas, and I didn't get any money to buy books for Christmas. So I've done something a little bit different. So these 5 books that I'm going to show you are books that I bought for myself over the past couple of months, but I've forgotten to show you guys. It's just a case of that these are in my book collection, but I'm just going to show you what they are. So the first one is Andrea Levy's The Long Song. This is the tie-in book cover for the drama, because the drama has been on BBC recently, and I absolutely fell head over heels in love with it. I thought it was wonderful, but I really, really, really wanted to read the book. I've not read any of Andrea's books before. She has stood out as an excellent writer. I think this was actually this is the winner of the Walter Scott Prize, and it was nominated for the Man Booker Prize as well. So I'm really excited to read The Long Song. I think it's going to be great. Another book where I've never read this book before, I've never read the author before, so I'd be very interested to see with this one, and it's Christopher Priest, The Prestige. Now, the reason why I bought this was that about a month ago, Sky One was showing the film version with Hugh Jackman, and his name's completely fallen out of my head. Christian Bale, that's it. And I had seen the film before, many years ago, and I thought, it was okay, but it wasn't anything special, and it would just happen to be on, and I had nothing to do, so nothing to watch, so I thought, okay, I'll sit and watch this. And again, I thought, yeah, it's okay, but it made more sense seeing it again, because I remembered certain things about the story. But I just kept on thinking, what is the difference between the novel and the film? And I kept on thinking about this, and I thought the concept was brilliant, but I didn't know if it was that thing that the way it was told, how Christopher Nolan told it, was just rather odd, but then that's his kind of style. I mean, look at Inception and stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to have a go at the book, so I bought the book. So there we go, so that's Christopher Priest. And another book which it's actually a collection of books, because this is a series, so there were many books. I absolutely fell in love with The Forsyte Saga by John Galsworthy. Now, I was suggested The Forsyte Saga, so, drama and everything, my thoughts about it, and I replied back by someone commenting on a video, and I replied back saying how the drama kind of swept me by. I was about 14 when it came out. It just didn't appeal, but maybe I'll look it up. And I looked it up, and I fell head over heels in love with the drama. I was blown away by it. I've watched it a few times now, both series of it, and I do have 2 radio plays of the Forsyte Saga, which I'll admit I'd listened to, but I hadn't really, I don't think, properly listened to take in the story fully. And so I've been obsessively listening to those 2. I've been rewatching the Forsyte Saga drama over and over and over again, and so I had to get the books. Now, there are about 9 or 10 books and a load of short stories. So what Penguin Books did is that they've published them, but as 2 separate volumes, and this is volume 1. And I think that pretty much covers. So this covers what is the complete series of. First 2 series of the drama, the ITV drama that came out in the early 2000s, and then there's a whole load of other stuff after that. So this is basically covers those 2 series of that drama, and I think that's a good stopping point, because the stuff that next happens is even further next generation stuff, which, even though it's interesting, it kind of just feels like it's just been carried on for no real purpose, but for the purpose of the story and the older generation, newer generation, and where it ends is absolutely perfect in this volume. So yeah, that's why I only picked up volume 1, but I'm really, really excited to read the Forsyte Saga. And the other 2 books that I've left are short story books. And the first one is Animal Farm by George Orwell. Now, you probably think that I'll have already read this before. No. I've read 1984, which I absolutely loved. And Animal Farm is a story that I do like. I think it's really interesting, and it's one of those stories again where I always kind of knew certain elements to the story, but not the entire thing. And I'm still kind of like that, even though I do listen to radio play from time to time. That I have BBC 4 radio play. I still have that thing of there's some elements that just I keep forgetting about. But I find it a really interesting story, and it was sat there amongst the short stories on a big table, and I was like, George Orwell, Animal Farm, it's there, you got to buy it. So I bought it. And the final one is a recommendation from my sister, which is Charlotte Perkins Gilman's The Yellow Wallpaper and Selected Writings. I can't remember which of our videos it was, but there was a video with my sister where we talked about we got onto short stories. I remember I was talking about Roald Dahl and such, and in that she talked about the yellow wallpaper and how astonishing it was to her to read. And we went to like town the next day, and it was sat there on the table along with Animal Farm. So I bought the 2. So yeah, I'm quite interested to read Charlotte Perkins Gilman. Again, it's a book that writer who I've never read before. Actually, thinking about it, apart from George Orwell, because technically I've read 1984. All these are authors who I've not read before, and all 5 of these books are books I've never read before. So I'm very interested to be reading all of these. So yeah, so they're kind of like my last book haul, as it were, that I just completely neglected to show you guys over the past few months. But for my picks from December, there were 2 books I still haven't read or got round to, which are Child Star and The Couple Next Door. And because I picked these originally for June last year and June 2018, because it's still 2018 technically, and for December 2018, and I still haven't got around to them, I am categorically going to be reading these as my first books of 2019. So there we go, they are categorically going to be read, and I'll be starting on that ASAP, but because I'm having terrible headaches and such, I need to have my eyes checked, so I might have to take those a bit slow until I can get my eyes checked. But anyway, so that's what's going on with my new books and what's going to start off the year. But what is going to cover the whole of the year? I've decided to do something a bit different. I was suggested by one of my subscribers, and I was actually I was thinking of doing it myself as well before they suggested, to have a year off from the jars. To have a year where I get to pick what I want to read, because there's loads of books in my book collection that I really want to read that if I put in the jar, I wouldn't be able to. So for example, I've been picking from those jars for 3 years. I still haven't picked the Harry Potter books out of that jar, even though it's been sat there for 3 years. And I know it's been sat there for 3 years. I still haven't picked it out. I haven't read Harry Potter since 2015. I'd quite like to go back to Hogwarts, or maybe just for a bit, or maybe just dip into Animal Farm, or maybe try some other book. There's loads and loads of books in my book collection. So I've decided that for 2019, I will not be picking my books at random. But I've also got something that will aid me in regards to, you may have seen that earlier in the year I had said how I wanted to read more books that widen my horizon, and this year I have, with various reasons. I made a comment about it in my review, but I don't think I've read wide enough. So instead of buying books in the January sale, or Boxing Day sale should I say, because we're still not quite in January, I bought myself a poster, and it is the 100 books scratch off bucket list poster. This is a poster I've been wanting for quite a while, and basically what's inside is a poster that's full of scratched silver areas, and it gives you the names of the various books. And once you have read a book, you scratch off to reveal the artwork underneath. I'm going to hold up the poster for you. I'm not sure how this is going to work because it's quite a big poster. But here is the poster. It's rather long, as you can see. But I've gone through and I have scratched off all the artwork of books that I have already read. So out of the 100 books, I've already read 32 of them. And out of those 32, 13 of them I've reviewed on this channel. So yeah, you can always dig them out and see if you want to. But out of the ones, so out of the remaining ones I've yet to read and therefore yet to reveal the artwork, I have got about, I think, 9 or 10 of them in my bookcases upstairs. So what I want to do is read through, obviously, you know, pick my books that I want, but I'd like to see how many of these I can actually scratch off this, you know, to reveal more, and pick things from this list I usually would never read. So there are so many things, like we have things like A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. I wouldn't read that in a million years. Why not? There are things like Gulliver's Travels, A History of Venice, The Count of Monte Cristo, what have we got? All Quiet on the Western Front, Watership Down, The Odyssey, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, The Road, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. There's so many books in this poster that I normally would never read because it's either a genre that doesn't interest me or it's just a book where I go, oh yeah, I heard about that, but it's never registered in my head to look it up, to keep an eye on it and such. So I am going to use this as my way of making sure that I'm reading a wide range of stuff in my time of picking stuff for myself. Now, of course, I'm not going to be able to completely scratch off this entire poster. That would be kind of impossible because, as I said, for 2018 I read 33, which was higher than the previous year, and the year before that I was doing 1 book a week for a year, and I got through so many books. So around 30 I would have thought is probably a good idea, a good number to go for, and I've got 61 or something, 60 some on the list left to scratch off. So I'm not going to be able to completely you know, display all of these, get these all scratched off, but I can have a go at doing as many as possible, read a wide range of books that I usually never would read, and still get to pick books for myself. So that is my plan for the year. See what I can scratch off this bucket list, pick whatever I want to read, and see how the year goes. So that's the plan. I hope you guys are okay with that plan. I hope you enjoy the year to come. So I'm first going to read, I'm still going to alternate between fiction and non-fiction as best I can, although the majority of this bucket list is actually fiction. But I'm going to alternate as best I can. So the first one I'm going to read, because I've just finished fiction, will be non-fiction, and that's going to be Child Star by Shirley Temple Black. And I'll be back with my thoughts on that as soon as I am done. Alright then guys, I hope you all have a happy new year, and I will see you soon. Alright, bye.